Welcome back to your Apatros review. Your host, Milo Sipka. In this episode, we check out the film 2001 Maniacs and the DVD from Force Entertainment. Hello there. Hi there. Welcome back again. I'm your host, Milo Sipka, and welcome to your Apatros review. The show I review many of the 1200 DVDs, Blu-rays, VHS, and in my collection, also some video games as well. In this episode, we look at 2001 Maniacs, which was probably the first ever remake of an old Herschel Gordon Lewis splatter film, in this case 1964, film 2000 Maniacs. Now, before I begin, no, just let me just say that the DVD I'm reviewing this episode is from Force Entertainment. I'll get into that a little bit more a little later on. Now, a group of college students on their way to Daytona Beach for spring break find themselves and two other groups of partygoers stuck in a strangely antique town of Pleasant Valley, where the Southerners they are setting up their annual Guts and Glory Festival. But these townsfolk are hiding a terrible secret. To avenge their town's sacking by rogue Unionists during the American Civil War, and the fact that they'll be caught up in some weird time warp, they staged the festival to capture and kill all visitors, turning them into food. Herschel Gordon Lewis, or H.G. Lewis, is a legendary figure in the annals of American horror filmmaking. After all, this was the guy who practically invented the splatter film and pioneered gore fests all the way back in the early 1960s. Lewis was originally a nudie photographer, like he made nudie films, which were predecessors of the porn films. Like in the 1960s, they're doing just nudie films, like just lighthearted films just showed naked women, not really full-blown porn. That stuff didn't start until the early 1970s. Lewis realized that the market was becoming oversaturated with these, so he started thinking, now what can I do to make a film that nobody's ever done before, and something that will guarantee me a cult following. And Lewis was also a motivational speaker as well. After he finished making his films, he went on to the motivational speaking circuit. It wasn't until the early 2000s that he returned to make one more film, and then that was it. And Lewis, when he released his first horror film, Blood Feast, back in like the very early, like around 1960 or so, it just left driving audiences, which were all raised on steady diet of atomic monster films and alien invader films from the 1950s, as well as the early Hammer films. They were all slack-jawed. It was jaw-dropping. Of course, the films he made were all technically slipshod and full of bad acting, poor writing, production values so low that they made his films very hard to follow. But gorehounds like me love them because they were the first of their kind. Indeed, Lewis's films made many young filmmakers, like I said, that left a lot of people back then slack-jawed, complete jaw-dropping. Now, this 2004 update, and this is the first time anyone's made a remake of a H.G. Lewis film, is a solid and superior remake to one of Lewis's old films, in this case, 2000 Maniacs, which was made around 1964 and featured such effects like a person being stuffed into a barrel full of nails and rolled down a hill. I would love to have seen that effect. Of course, the remake doesn't have that effect, but it does do a solid reworking the original story's basics and make some smart updates in the plot. The film's jokes are all tried and true Southern stereotypes used for sarcastic effect, and the gore effects are pretty decent for the budget, and for one thing, a fair bit more sophisticated than the original film's gore effects, along with decent acting, particularly from Robert Englund as the town's mayor. If you ever stroll into an ancient town and see Freddy Krueger leading the townsfolk, you are in serious frigging trouble. Now, while the social justice warrior types and the so-called woke crowd will hate the humor in this film with a passion, the important thing to realize is that the humor is used in a sarcastic manner to show the consequences of wartime atrocities. Although that lesson is a little unrealistic here, but still it's perfect for a horror film about the horrors of war. Funny and gory in equal measure, this will put a smile on the faces of gorehounds, and it was nice to hear a techno remake of the original's The South Will Rise Again theme song over the closing credits. Now, violence and gore. There are some decent splatter effects witnessed here, such as bells dropped on people, acid moonshine, the old spread eagle gag, metal dentures to the groin, and more. Plenty of gore, but nothing too spectacular, given it was a B film. Now, sexuality and nudity. There are sheep shagging jokes, kissing cousins, and some breasts and butts scene. So there's no actual sex scene, but there's plenty in the window to go around. I give this film a B, which is a 3 stars out of 5 or 6 out of 10, which means it's solid. It's an enjoyable film. Now, the DVD from Force Entertainment is clearly lacking in the extras department because practically every other DVD released around the world of this film has plenty of extras in it. But, I mean, but at least it's uncut, and the only extra you find in this Force Video DVD is the trailer. As you can see, this is the cover of it. My copy was an old ex-rental. Now, now, there was a sequel made to this, but from a different director. Oh, and I should point out that Eli Roth, the guy who started the torture porn genre, actually appears in this as a hitchhiker who throws an armadillo at cars to try and force them to pick him up. He gets comic retribution for that. The film does end with a very good gore effect, very nifty one, but this film doesn't actually tell you exactly why these people are stuck here. It's either a time warp or they're actually ghosts. Then again, that kind of it's a bit like a weird dimension. It's more like a gory Twilight Zone episode. I mean, the story is perfect Twilight Zone stuff, but it's not perfect. I mean, it's not perfect exactly. Still, it's a good film, and if you're not the sort of person who is politically correct, there are a lot of lewd jokes here, politically incorrect. You're gonna love it, and in any case, it's better than the original film, that's for sure. In the sequel, they do use that roll barrel down the hill with person inside full of nails gag. I'm gonna try and hunt down these. I do have one H.G. Lewis film in my collection, which was his last film, Blood Beast 2. I will review that in the future. Alright, thanks for this review.